welcome everyone today. My name's Jeremy Wolf, and I co-lead the large enterprise in the United States for Amazon Business, Customer Acquisition. I'm joined here today with the VP of partnerships, strategic partnerships here with SAP, and we're here to discuss how to optimize and digitize your indirect procurement journey. For those of you who aren't familiar, Amazon Business is here with AWS as we work with companies around the world as part of their B2B procurement arm. We specialize in helping customers optimize their spend visibility and procurement automation for your office, your IT, and Jansan. I'm here with Miguel Pechon today with SAP, and we're here to really discuss how our partnership has helped create an evolution in optimizing your procurement journey. Miguel, I'll let you introduce yourself today.
Yeah, thank you. You hear me well? Perfect. So, my name is Miguel. That is a better version of me when I was a bit younger. Before I introduce myself and my role, born in Chile, raised in Sweden, live in Prague. Prague has been home for the last 12 years, and that is as long as I've been with SAP. Been in SAP for 12 years, as I just mentioned. Been doing a lot of different things back and forward, but for the last year, I've been heading up our global organization of trading partner executives. We focus on suppliers and everything that comes with partnership from suppliers. Hence, a good partnership we have here is with Amazon Business, amongst others.
That's excellent. And for those of you who, much less interesting, I'm born in Detroit, raised in Chicago, and live in Detroit, the Chile of the Midwest. So my focus is working with some of the largest enterprise customers, many of which have made the right choice to often use many SAP, ERP tools and e-procurement systems, especially Ariba, to optimize their spend. And really, help create the procurement journey that large companies need to fulfill their solutions and their sustainability needs. When you're looking at that, do you see a lot of, do you work with companies that you've really seen have been able to utilize SAP and Amazon Business to fulfill a sustainability, a digitalization, a really modern procurement solution by working together? Have you seen any of that in your experience?
Yeah, we have, and I'm going to break that down in bits and pieces.
Yes, I gave too much of a chunk there.
So, what crossed my mind is Evonik, right? Evonik is a huge pharma company, manufacturing very decentralized, different languages, currencies, different approval processes, and so on, right? One of the things that we as SAP, and in particular the business network, formerly known as Ariba, offers is for them to streamline processes, reduce manual workload, keep everything in one place, ordering in the same manner, have visibility across the organization, and the ease of use when it comes to ordering. Now, this is from a high level, right? If you look at Evonik and all their contractual customers, amongst them Amazon, but every customer, their size also struggles with the tail spend, and this is something that Evonik, together with SAP and Amazon, have managed to solve. So the tail spend is when somebody orders one of these or one of these, right? It's not contractual. And every company have different ways of ordering this via telephone, email, going on internet, buy in a shop, and expense, and so on. We partnered together with Amazon to build a marketplace, and a marketplace that allows customers like Evonik for one single purchasing channel, not only for the contractual spend, but as well as the tail spend. There were additional questions in when you asked.
Yes. No, but and let's focus on that as you take that, as we're working together, and especially like Evonik, for especially those of you who, if you're in Europe, you have to be aware they might be the second largest in that space. But in this relationship, Amazon is the supplier, for them. How does we're trying to all, really optimize that for savings and visibility. But how does this digitalization facilitate a stronger relationship, as the supplier when working with SAP?
I mean, as a whole, every supplier, let's break this down again, right? Purchasing organization, they use our solutions to save cost. Suppliers, they use our network to sell more. Now, as a supplier, being part of a larger network like ours and have the ability to connect into marketplace like yours, partnering, there are a few things, but the major one when it comes to sale, upsell, cross-sell, is to have one sales channel, not only for your contracted buying customers, but as well have the opportunity to connect and make business with new and additional buying customers, anything from large contracts to the tail span. And we offer that. We offer one process, one enablement process, one integration process, but as well access to thousands and thousands of customers through one sales channel.
And that sales channel for many employees, it's a different experience. For the end user, say at Evonik or one of your customers, and maybe they're not seeing the behind the scenes changes every day. For those who understand, who are procuring, buying office supplies and going into SAP Ariba, even if they don't see it, it is happening. There's innovation happening. What are some areas of innovation in this procurement journey at SAP that you're most excited about?
There are so many. How much time do I have?
6-7 hours.
All right, we're good. Now, same here. I'm going to break it down in two pieces. There are innovations to solve the day-to-day.
Yes.
And then there are innovations for strategic purposes to grow the business. If you look at any procurement tool, any network, any marketplace, the idea is to digitize, to have, is that better? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. To have one channel across everything you do, right? And today, an integration project, catalog upload project, a connection deployment requires some, and in some cases, a lot of manual intervention. We need people to set it up. We need people to ensure that all the approval flows and so on are in the right place. One of the things we're working in the back end of today is to solve those issues. We want to ensure that when a customer procures and deploys the business network, it should be easier and smoother. And if you turn it around on the supplier side, it should be one connection, one integration connection to the network, not to every buying customer. It should be one catalog upload to the network, not to every buying customers. Of course, you change pricing, contracts, and terms, and so on. So that's the one. But if you look in the midterm, we need to understand that today, purchasing organizations are not only interested in price. They're interested in where the supply comes from, if it's sustainable certified, if it's ethically sourced.
Yes.
We need to provide that option, and that we also can do with collaboration with you. But another thing, or two other things that is broadly mentioned is APIs and AI. I mean, that's a very broad thing, right? But APIs needs to have a purpose, put it that way. It needs to be easy to connect. It needs to have an upsell function. It needs to have a cost-saving function on the purchaser side. And AI is going back to the manual interventions I was talking about. We have so much data. Why not utilize that to help buying organizations to purchase in the right way, at the right time, with the right price, for the right supply, and in return, give supplying customers the same opportunity in reverse. Now, I do ABC, meaning I can offer this to this subsets of buying customers. So I'm going to pause there and I'll give you a lot of information, but it's not as easy as saying there is one product, but we need to look at where we are headed as a world, but as well what purchasing customers are asking for and what suppliers needs and wants to deliver.
I think the areas that I'm getting to is, and it's certainly not one product, but there's two areas that I find that make it feel like one product, one supplier. And one of those areas I'd love for you to speak about is the growth in integrated search. And the other area that I know you're excited to really discuss is our partnership where we're moving away from punch out and into other areas known as punch in. Can you speak to both of those, starting with, let's start backwards and look at really the innovation and look at what's happening, what does punch in mean for those who aren't familiar with it, and how is this partnership going to work?
So if we start with the punch in, here again, SAP has had a tendency in the past
Yes.
to build and propose solutions for our market. However, one thing we noticed lately is we need to build what is required from the market, hence punch in is one of the things we're working on. And we also are getting better as a whole to partner with our customers, in this case you as a supplier, a marketplace. And the needs for punch in is not only to supply, but it's to give a supplier the option of how to be enabled, how to offer their supplies, but as well as giving a buying customer an option of how to purchase. Historically, it's punch out and static catalogs. There are additional options out there, but what we are opening up our world to is partner with the likes of you in order to provide these type of channels for our entire customer base, no matter buyer, supplier.
And for those of you who don't understand, in this new world of procurement, with SAP's capabilities now, you can start your procurement journey, say, on Amazon Business with SAP and Ariba working in the background. And then once you're finished procuring, you're in that shopping cart that you're so familiar with, then all those items go through the automation, which is the beauty of working in the Ariba marketplace and catalog. So it's a real unique way where you're, especially maybe for a newer hire, millennials, where they're starting their B2B shopping experience very much as if their B2B shopping experience with their company policies in place. Do you think that is where the innovation is going in areas like integrated search, where it's almost a Google-like experience for the customer? What are you seeing there with companies and their desire to have this single search engine within their procurement system?
I mean, first of all, yes, this is where the market is headed, but I also believe in the opportunity to provide options. Not all purchasing organizations are the same. Not all the supplying customers have the same abilities and capabilities. What we need to expand is the offering across, right? Now, yes, for a mature purchasing company or for a supplying customer who can offer this, of course it makes sense to have one way of putting everything into one box. Yeah. The ordering, the purchasing, all the way to the invoicing, to getting paid. But it's the offering we need to provide, right? Today, company A wants to use punch out, company B wants to use punch in, company C wants to use an API. We need to open up our ways of utilizing the network. And a big part of my role is to partner up with companies like you to better provide these type of solutions and product to our customers, and doing so in a partnership with those of you who already are a step ahead of us.
That's excellent, and that's, I think, what a lot of everyone here at the trade show wants to see. So when you're then when you're seeing your partners and really your customers, how are they then leveraging all of this data analytics to help facilitate these purchasing decisions? Where are you seeing the data influencing or really being utilized? Because they've had the data, they've had tools for analytics for years. SAP is probably one of the founding for lack of better terms, fathers of creating this data, but where are you seeing it being leveraged when it comes to procurement?
Well, in two ways, I would
Yes.
say. One is the master data to clean up, to have the right contacts, to know who you're purchasing from, clean up pricing, set up the right processes, connect with the right organizations and people within the purchasing slash selling companies, right? But then there is the analytical data behind this. What should I purchase? Why should I purchase this today? We can provide that type of data for a buying customer, for example. I'm interested in sustainable suppliers, for example.
Yes.
Now, I know that sustainable suppliers deliver A, B, C versus saving cost here. I can provide you that information across the network. What I can't do is tell you how to utilize it, right? I can give you the data. You as a purchasing company need to apply what is of interest for you. And that also goes with deployment, with how to find supply, with how to set up integration projects, anything that has to do with automation. You learn from the first time, you add it on to the second time. And like you said, everyone sits on data. All we can do is provide the data and allow you as either a purchasing company and or a supplying company to utilize that data in your interest. What are you after? What are your focus areas? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And I think, everyone in the audience would understand this. I don't want this to get stale, but I think it's just very important. Where have you then seen with both sustainability initiatives and purchasing decisions changes since COVID in regards to that? Just areas of significance that you've seen change. We know everyone's had supply chain issues that on the indirect side have subsided, but where do you see that?
So I would say in two ways. One, every company today, and it goes back to what the company's purpose, the company's goals. I wouldn't say every company, but most of the companies, they have a sustainable goal. They have a KPI of purchasing from local suppliers versus the best price, ethical buying, right? Now, if you tie that into what you asked me, how I see that, you can see that today, and it's not a trend. It actually is important to save the environment. It is important to not fund potential unethical organizations, and it's extremely important to give the local suppliers a chance, and COVID disrupted that, right? So there is no one way of looking at it. Everyone
Yes.
has different goals and targets. However, it is a lot more visible today than it was pre-COVID. That 100%.
And would you say, do you think the visibility is because it's after COVID, or because SAP and along with Amazon and working together, the tools are now available? Or were they, it feels like they were somewhat available, but maybe people weren't using them. Is that where the difference is, or is it just a mindset change now?
I think, honestly, it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, the mindset has changed, and it's still changing. But yes, it's the visibility. I mean, I can go in through our network to your marketplace, and I suddenly have the option of purchasing from a sustainable, from an ethical, from low price, from local. And these things were not visible just a few years back, but they come from the demand that companies and private people actually want to see this, right? If we would put it out there, or if you would put it out there, and there were no interest or mindset change, it wouldn't do us any good. So I think it's a mix of both. Does that make sense?
That does. That makes a lot of sense. I think some of the innovations that everyone is most excited about really still continue to involve the automation aspect of, when a supplier on Ariba is able to sort of automate that procure-to-pay process. Is there other areas that you feel are just as exciting that, that your customers, that maybe Evonik took advantage of? Like, what areas do you see that are just the most exciting that people aren't taking advantage of. And then after that, we'll leave a few minutes to ask any questions related to procurement that we'll be able to answer.
So, all right, so let's start with one. So one of the areas that we are enhancing, putting a lot of money into, and understanding that is important not only for ourselves as SAP, but for our partners, for our buying customers, and for our supplier customers, is the partnerships across, I want to name it and label it marketplace.
Yes.
But it's not purely for the tail spend, it's the option to choose from supply. However, if we look at it from a broader context, we also need to ensure to leverage everything we just talked about.
Yes.
That's why I keep away from saying the one thing, but you put everything into one. Now, what is a marketplace? Okay, is it punch in? Is it punch out? Is it marketplace to marketplace? Excuse me. My answer is it's all of the above. We just need to be able to provide that for everyone that wants the accessibility and availability to join. However, it needs to be tied into what we talked about, sustainability, but the enhancement that I'm coming to, and it took a long time to get there, is AI, is data and analytics, right? How do we help, how do we ensure that we're not just doing this for what we believe is the best outcome? We actually give you and all our both purchasing companies and supplier companies the option to actually give you the chance to shine in the right way, focused on your goals, targets, what is important for you, and so on. And honestly, on top of that, I think I said that earlier, we have a lot of product. That's not SAP, that's not Amazon, that's any company out there, hence why they work with companies like us. We need to make things easier. We can't keep adding manpower to everything we do. So the ease of automation, the ease of deployment, the ease of connections, approval flows, legislations, all that needs to open up, as well as open up networks. Public networks are there. The invoice legislations are coming now. These are also things to take in consideration on top of all these things. I know that wasn't the one answer you wanted.
No,
but it's a broader concept.
Yeah. No, I think that speaks to it, because you have the end user who is used to their one way, and they need to know about the other features that their company is implementing. SAP is really one of the only companies in the procurement space that, when you're working with Amazon, they're bringing their own experts to ensure that it's a smooth integration. Even though it might have been smooth without them, just they're always bringing in their own people, their own solution consultants and so forth, to make sure that it is a verified experience, even if it's one of 50 marketplaces or catalogs on that. And that speaks a lot to your company's ensuring that it's a end-to-end process that works for that specific customer. I'm going to open it up to the audience. Please do not be shy. Any questions that we're able to answer, we're more than happy. We don't know if Bezos bought a home in Florida or not. Can't speak to that, but everything, because I actually don't know. But anything else, please do not be shy.
Is it wrong if I just point someone out?
Yeah, no, please point someone out. Questions?
No. All right. No.
Anyone? Excellent. All right, well, you feel free. We're going to post this also on LinkedIn to ask us any questions there. I'll be more than happy to connect with you at a later time. Miguel, I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Very nice. And thank you for everyone in attendance. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.